So this Pizzagate thing has blown up pretty big lately. If you ask me, when it really blew up was recently when Jack Posobiec did a live Periscope feed from the Ping Pong Pizza place. He stayed there for a few minutes, it looked pretty normal, and at some point he got kicked out. Now, on a side note, I would say check out Jack Posobiec's Periscope feed. I find it quite excellent. So anyways, a couple of days later, people are investigating, and lo and behold, something that isn't news is bam, news. A man shows up at Ping Pong Pizza with a gun. And of course, the only witness there is a Muslim family, which CNN immediately used to make it their top story, even though they haven't covered Pizzagate at all, and not only want to push this fake news narrative that they've been using in conjunction with this government website Proper Not to help propagate this law, H.R. 6393, which allow the government to eradicate anything they consider Russian propaganda, which is anything that isn't CNN, New York Times, or any of these other mainstream media companies that have all come out after the election and straight up admitted that they've been lying to the American people. So now they not only want you to feel sorry for the fake news, but they also want you to feel sorry for these Muslims who Obama wants to bring in droves so they can breed us out of existence and put us under Sharia law. We've seen evidence of this over and over again over in Europe. Now, the only witness to the scene, Sharif Salimi, was recently interviewed on the Alex Jones channel, and Alex Jones asked him if he had heard about the Ping Pong Pizza, say that 5 times fast, child pedophilia ring before he decided to take his family to Ping Pong Pizza, and he said, yes, I heard about it on NPR in DC. So, the same man who said he heard about the child pedophilia ring in DC decided that it would be a great idea that he'd take his wife and his kids to this place that might be the capital of one of the biggest pedophilia rings on the planet. Way to go. We all applaud you. That was an excellent decision. So, we go and look to this Welch guy. Turns out, he's an actor with an IMDb page. Boom. Crisis actor, right? We all know crisis actors are always there. They always have an acting page. It's always the same. But except this time, this dude was actually in a pretty legit movie. Turns out his dad wrote movies, and he got him in a big part. I think this movie was called, what was it called? Blood or Bloody or Bleeding or something like that. It had DMX and Kat Von D and Michael Madsen and some legit actors in it. Wow. So this isn't like another bogus actor who didn't really do much of anything like the guy who was involved in this Pulse shooting psyop. No, this was a legit movie. And what was his role in the movie? Well, he was a raver and who died quite gruesomely. What have we heard about in the news happening in the past couple of days? Well, maybe we heard about this fire in Oakland, a warehouse fire from a warehouse party from a bunch of ravers who died gruesomely in the worst fire in the history of Oakland, according to news. Pretty bizarre, don't you think? And on top of that, it also turns out that this man lives in North Carolina. Why is this interesting? Well, what happened in North Carolina recently that was all over the news? Well, we heard on the news that the NBA decided to leave the All-Star game in North Carolina because the governor decided to stand up to the perverts at other governments. They decided it's a good idea for all bathrooms to be able to be used by people of any sex and any age together at the same time. Obviously, the governor of North Carolina decided that little boys and little girls shouldn't be going to the bathroom with grown-ups of the opposite sex because, well, it's disgusting. And guess what? The NBA moved the game. So, they want to push the narrative that fake news causes shooting, but is it a lot more likely that what really causes shooting was the narrative from the government trying to push things like sharing the same bathroom, the most perverted law I've ever heard of, in these satanic after-school programs for children. Very bizarre indeed. You can't make this stuff up, but oh yes, my friends, it is all very real, so don't let them twist the narrative and blame it on the people who are pushing Pizzagate, because really, it's the government pushing these laws that Americans don't agree with that's causing the real dissent here. So he has this movie company in North Carolina. What else is interesting about North Carolina? They still haven't decided the governor's race because the Democrats and the libtards are trying to steal the election from the man who wanted to stand up to the perverts. This unknown liberal district attorney that no one's even really heard of is winning by 6,000 votes, except, hey, wait, there's one problem. It's already been proven there's election fraud all over that state. It's already been proven that over 35,000 people voted for Obama in 2012 in North Carolina and another state. Over 35,000 people. He's only losing by around 6,000 votes. So that's about 29,000 votes that probably got stolen from him by this voting scam, and they still don't have a governor because people are so torn up about this perversion law going on over there, and they will try to enforce it on them by any way they can just like trying to steal the election. But unfortunately for North Carolina, he isn't getting the kind of press that Trump did. So, there's a whole nother thing going on with Julian Assange. Everyone believes that Julian Assange was either killed or abducted by the CIA. Most believe that he was abducted by the CIA. That even around the day that everybody believes that he was disappeared, the CIA has a plane called the Guantanamo Bay Express. This is a plane solely designed to take people to Guantanamo Bay. On the day that Julian Assange disappeared, they tracked this plane on the internet. Oh yeah, guess what, people? Yeah, we can do that now. And they tracked it. Guess where the plane go? Did it go to Guantanamo Bay? No. It actually went to a little city in North Carolina. Now, as it's also been uncovered, while everything was happening with all this big news, of course, once again, I want to point out, Google removed the news tag off its website. The first time I've ever seen a website censored like that when something was actually going on. Very strange indeed. Again, I cannot stress this enough. So, as I catch my breath, now, as you see, if you go to subscribe to the New World Agenda channel, which I say that you should because it has some excellent information there, he points out that the investigation on Pizzagate continues by citizen journalist on VOAT.com. I went and checked it out for myself, and lo and behold, it turns out that Welch and his father used to live in Haiti, and they've been helping people who have been the victims of sex trafficking in Haiti. Well, where have we heard about Haiti? Well, what we guess Haiti, we heard about Monica Peterson on the Reddit forum, because you know what? She was investigating the Hillary Clinton link to the sex trafficking in Haiti, and she was murdered. And lo and behold, this guy was at the Ping Pong Pizza, who's connected to Julian Assange, and maybe connected to his fires of the deaths of the rapers over in Oakland, and maybe even more so going on with the stealing of the election, where they still don't have a governor in the state of North Carolina. Things are starting to look very strange indeed. So I tell you, all of these events are connected, all of these things are staged, all of these things are orchestrated, and we're going to have to keep up this fight, or we're never going to know what's really going on. Open your eyes, step out of the matrix. It's all real, folks.